We looked in depth of why U of M is the next blue blood school in the world of basketball, and a large part of this idea revolves around the new culture formed by second-year coach Juwan Howard. And there are some perks you get as a program if you find the right coach. You get more out of the players you currently have, you make them better at the things they're already good at, and they add new skills. The coach's schemes and the culture of unselfish play creates easier buckets, and the discipline that the coach instills helps immensely on the defensive side as athletes begin to understand how the game of basketball works, and they're going to be able to be in the right positions. It's just going to be second nature for them, and everything's just going to look so much more smoothly. But what I want to focus on is one of the biggest perks of having a new great coach, and it's the improved recruiting class. And as it stands now, Michigan has the #1 recruiting class in 2021. They're the only school to have 2 top 10 recruits, and they're the only school to have 4 in the top 50. So let's go over Michigan's ridiculous recruiting class player by player, and then we're actually going to only talk about the first 3. And I'm going to try and convince you of why Michigan should be the heavy favorites going into next year to win it all. Very quickly, if you guys enjoy daily basketball content, I highly recommend subscribing. It helps out so much. We're trying to reach 500 subscribers by the end of the month. Just reading your guys' comments and responding to you guys, having a debate has been so much fun. But back to the video. First, let's take a look at Michigan's highest recruit since 2007, and it's Caleb Houston. He is ranked 7th overall in the nation, and this Canadian player now plays for Mount Verde Academy in Florida. Focusing more on his game, I'm going to be honest, I don't know 100% sure what to think, because seeing highlights without stats is very hard and it can be very deceiving sometimes with players. But I know ESPN puts a lot of work in, so I don't think he would be number 7 for no reason. But he seems to me to be a pure sharpshooter through and through. And I mean to the point where I didn't even see him take many threes off the dribble. He's going to catch and shoot, and I really am having a hard time finding statistics for these guys, but he is water. I mean, every single highlight I just see him, he's catching, shooting, and it's multiple in the same game, so I know he's scoring a lot of points. And he's not crazy athletic. He's 6'8", he looks very long, but he still has that rim grazer dunk package. But what I love about Michigan is nobody tries to be anything they're not. So if he's a sharpshooter, then he's going to be this team's sharpshooter. Juwan will make him and optimize him the best he can, and in the end, Houston will feel individual success and team success. And also something to mention, he's actually a reclassified player. So he was originally in the class of 2022, but now he's in 2021 recruiting class, but he just turned 18, which is surprising because I graduated when I was 17, so he's already very old for his team. And this is a quote from his dad. He said, "It's not necessarily getting to the NBA earlier. I think that can be a mistake in many cases. It really seems to be the case of what he wants to accomplish, what he's looking to do, and the opportunity is and how he's doing in school. If there's an opportunity at his school that he really likes and he wants to stay longer, maybe he does that." So looking even further into Michigan's future, they might have him for a few years, which would be amazing. I cannot wait to see this guy at the college level. Next on the list, we have Musa Diakite, or Diabate. I honestly really don't know how to pronounce his name. I'll get it eventually, don't worry. But it honestly doesn't even matter what his name is, because this dude is a beast. Standing at 6'9" and playing the power forward, he's the #8 recruit in the nation, and he is freaky athletic. And again, I'm not 100% sure, but he has been shown to stretch it out all the way to the 3-point line. I'm not sure about his efficiency, but let's focus more on his athleticism, because most of the time he's in transition dunking it, in a half-court set dunking it, he's dunking on somebody. This dude is just a monster athletically, and when I see that in a player, and especially so highly recruited, I know that they have a ton of potential, because if he can develop a shot and it looks like his handles are nothing spectacular, nothing to really look at, but it looks like he's able to bring up the ball up the court and not have it stolen. And there will definitely be a place for him on this Michigan team, being this tall and this athletic. Juwan Howard will use his defensive potential to put him in the right places and staying disciplined, staying on his feet. But overall, he seems to have a very good feel for timing up his blocks and being an off-ball defender. And I'm very excited to see him play and learn how to pronounce his name correctly. And this next one I am beyond excited for, and I recently fell in love with watching this kid play, and it's Frankie Collins. He's ranked 40th in the nation, and he is standing at 6'1", but you would never guess that he's 6'1", because he's usually has his head on the rim, because this dude has some bunnies. I can say so much about this guy, so let's break it down more intently, because by far he's the most interesting person to me. The first thing I want to mention is his handle, because not only is it tight, but it's effective, and he doesn't really have a go-to move. move. But honestly, I mean that in a really good way. He consistently mixes it up between crossovers, hesitations, spin moves, but the most impressive thing to me is his change of speed. He'll lull defenders to sleep, slow, and just have a burst, stop on a dime, and multiple times in possession, and it just looks like he's one step ahead of the defender every single time. And when he has the ball in his hand, he is aggressive. He attacks the rim, and it seems very Westbrook-esque. It looks like I'm watching like a Westbrook high school player, and he's very crafty around the rim. So if he's not dunking it, he's using his bounce to stay in the air for long times and making acrobatic finishes. And all of this opens up his shooting game because the defenders have to give themselves a step because he's just going to blow right by them. And although he's no sharpshooter like Caleb Houston, he's an improving shooter, and he will continue to work on this and develop because I think he's going to be with Michigan for at least 2 years. But the next thing I want to look at is his playmaking. He's a willing passer, and he usually always finds the open man. And something I love about his game, just watching him, is he's able to run an offense and be the point guard, but when the offense isn't really clicking, he can make it himself, either being very aggressive, creating himself an open shot for him, getting to the rim, or finding his open teammate and making defenders pay for bad rotations. He recently had a head-to-head matchup with Amoni Bates, and even though they don't play the same positions, they were both the must-watch players on their respective teams. And the pressure just wasn't there for Frankie Collins because he balled out. And he is the X factor for this class, being the point guard and the quarterback for this team, and he's going to have a huge impact on this team's success. And to say I'm excited about these 3 guys coming on next year would be an understatement. And what I love so much about them is we have a point guard, a small forward, and a power forward. One that is a great facilitator and super aggressive. One that just catches and shoots probably at a very high percentage. Caleb Houston has a very, very natural shot, and I think it's going to translate very well. And then Musa being there, 6'9" power forward, just a beast. I can already see pick and rolls, and the offense is just going to look so nice. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys haven't seen my previous video on why Michigan's already going to be a blue blood school, they're the next up, this should already confirm you more on why they're going to win their championship next year, because not only do they have all these things I've been talking about in the previous video with the culture and Juwan Howard and all of these pieces, but they're adding the #1 recruiting class, and it could get even scarier. As I mentioned before in a previous video, they have offers for all the top 10 recruits that haven't committed yet, and so it could get even better. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to comment and subscribe and smash the like button if you enjoyed. We post every single day on this channel. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I will see you all tomorrow. Peace.